Hello, my darlings. Today I'd like to tell you a little story. So I grew up in a family where they couldn't really afford to pay for my education. So I worked really hard and I paid for my degree and I entered the field of recruitment, and I had a really successful career. And I made some really good money. And, fast forward in the middle of my career, I bought my dream car, which in those days was an Audi Cabriolet. It was a 2.6 litre engine with a V6, and it was just like amazing. I wanted this car for so many years and I finally had the money to afford it, and it had leather seats and it was just really beautiful. Anybody who knows me knows how much I love Audis, and it was just a real amazing moment and achievement in my life to finally be able to go out and buy one. And so I got one, and I was doing, like I said, I was doing really well in my career. And I suppose I started to think a little bit, I started to go a little bit from a compassionate human being to more of an egotistical human being. So I started to think, I'm so great, look at me and my Audi, look at me, I'm fantastic, I've got this. And, I suppose it didn't come from humility and, that it came from, I think I'm great, it was pure ego. So I want to get that straight, right? It was pure ego. And, fast forward about a year after having the car, I had a car accident. So I was pulling up towards some lights and a car came behind me and bang, smacked into the back of my Audi, wrote my Audi off, and I had quite a serious whiplash injury. So after the accident, I started to think, my intuition told me there's a reason this accident happened. There's definitely a reason this accident happened. And I just kept asking the question, why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why am I in physical pain? Why's my beautiful Audi been written off? What's going on? What's happened? And it took a while. It took a while, maybe a couple of weeks of asking this question continually through meditation and really soul searching and really going inside. But eventually the answer came. And the answer was that I had come out of humility and I'd gone into ego, and I'm not supposed to be that way. The universe knew at that time that I would be an energy healer, which I am today, but I didn't know that at that time. So I wasn't allowed to be an egotistical being because it didn't fit in with my destiny. It didn't fit in with my life plan and what what I was born on this planet to achieve and to do. My job is to help people and to really help people push through their goals, achieve their goals, and push through their limitations, and help people who've been through trauma and be kind and compassionate. And that kind of thinking of I'm better than everybody because I've got a nice car just wasn't gonna wash, And so I got the download eventually that you had this car accident because your ego was getting out of control. So that's number one. Slowly, I figured out why it happened. But number two, secondly, the universe sorted me out brilliantly. I was living in a village in the middle of nowhere, and I found a physiotherapist. He was a physiotherapist stroke chiropractor, and I went to see him, and he kind of just looked at my back the first time I saw him, and he said, this, and this are, sorry, I don't know the medical terms, I can't remember, but he was talking about my discs and my spine. And he was saying, yeah, these are slightly misaligned just by looking at me. That's how you know you've got a good practitioner if, without even touching you, he knew exactly what the problem was. And he was saying, yeah, I can see that there's this, and this. And so he would stand behind me, I would have my arms like this, and he would it was so funny, but it was so scary. He would say, take a breath, and I would take a breath, and then he would click, click my back into place. And I only had about 6 sessions with him, but this guy sorted me out completely. Like, I know people who've had whiplash injuries and they've suffered for years and years and years and probably never healed, or, it's never got better. Whereas with me, in 6 weeks, after 6 sessions, I was absolutely fine. And this car accident was probably about 15 years ago, probably more. And I've never had a problem since. So the universe sent me the absolutely right person to be able to fix my injury, because I had drawn the conclusion, the right conclusion, and reached an understanding, learnt the lesson of why I'd had my car accident. And this was really, really something beautiful. So I wanted to share this with you to see if there's anybody else out there who, you know, sometimes if something bad happens, what kind of lessons have you learned? What have you understood about it? Because for this, for me personally, it just really, really ingrained in my mind that I have to keep my ego in check. And every now and then, because I'm human, I'm a human being as well, and then I make mistakes. Every now and again, when my ego starts to jump up a little bit, I get a beautiful flash reminder of that car accident, and my higher self kind of says to me, "Do you want to go down that road?" And I'm like, no, I'm pulling back. I'm pulling back. I understand, you know. One other thing I'd like to add is, before I had the car accident, I had many warnings from the universe. I had lots of warnings of pipe yourself down, calm down a bit, you're not better than anybody else, be humble, be kind, be compassionate. That's your innate nature. That's who you are. But I didn't listen. I didn't listen because the amazingness, excitement and wonderfulness of the Audi took over, you know, and it just all took over, and I didn't listen to those lessons. So when you don't listen to the lessons, they get bigger, harder and more prominent until you actually stop and pay attention. This sort of scenario has happened to me so many times that I'm at that stage in my life now that when I get a download, or when I get an understanding of, you need to do this, you need to change this behavior or stop this behavior, now I'm in a much better position because I'm much more attentive and I listen. But in those days, I didn't really pay attention. And so, you know, after the universe warned me several times, it kind of went in and out of the other ear. And eventually, you know, the car accident happened. I was really, really lucky that I only came out of it with a whiplash injury. And the other really great thing that happened was that within 4 weeks, I got my insurance money, and I went out and bought exactly the same car, the same color, the same spec. So really, I lost nothing. I maintained my health. I got the same car again because I learned the lesson. And I think that's something that's really important that I want to really emphasize here. When you learn the lessons and you understand why something has happened, the universe moves to improve things and makes things really, really work in your favor. Okay, so if you have a similar example, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know. Otherwise, I hope this has been helpful, and have a wonderful, wonderful day wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take good care. Have a great day. Bye for now.